Hello again, it's Lee Thurburn back, and you're on Live Stream Lee, and I want to welcome you to the program. We are in the midst of building a multi-vendor marketplace app for cell phone. And this is like Etsy, and we're, I don't know, maybe halfway through, and we've been building it now for about 3 or 4 weeks, about 3 weeks. Maybe actually about 4 weeks. We spend about 30 minutes a day building the app. And the reason I'm doing this is to show you how the development of software has changed in recent years. It used to be that you had to be a very skilled programmer, maybe not so skilled, but you had to know how to write code to be able to build a cell phone app. And that meant that if you wanted a cell phone app, you either had to learn how to write code or you had to hire somebody, and that made building cell phone apps very expensive. Well, there's a whole lot of people that I think might need a cell phone app. So I thought what I would do is use a new set of technologies called no-code development platforms. I'm using in particular a platform called Adalo.com, and I'm building a very complex app, which will actually allow you, if you follow all the steps that I'm doing, will actually allow you to build an app that works like Etsy as a marketplace. And so if you have a following of people that you can get to use your marketplace as customers and as vendors, you can create quite a marketplace, and then you can make a commission by connecting buyers and sellers in your marketplace. So that's what the app will do. Now, if you want to short circuit or shortcut the whole process, you can simply go to apricotrocket.com, where for $49.95 a month, no contract, all you have to do is sign up and you get a CRM. You can participate in a mastermind group, as well as you have an app that if you choose the module, the multi-vendor marketplace module, you can get that. It's actually going to cost you $10 more because it's a module that you have to have two modules associated with it. Anyway, go to apricotrocket.com and look at how we put things together. I'd also like to say that on livestreamlee.com, which is the website associated with this live stream, I actually have, I don't know, 75 or 100 programs that I've recorded. A lot of them deal with how to grow your business, how to market your business, how to grow your business, strategy, just a tremendous amount of really fundamental stuff. Some of it very sort of entry level, and some of it a little bit more advanced. I teach entrepreneurship, and I also teach business strategy at a University of Texas at Arlington. And I have for, well, getting close to 10 years now, I think 9 years. Anyway, there's a lot of materials there that are very similar to what I teach in class. So if you're an entrepreneur starting your career out, you will want to go to livestreamlee.com and peruse the list of archived videos and see what there is there that you might find useful. I also want to introduce you to a couple of people, and today I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine named Carlos Cantu. Carlos is a commercial risk management specialist. That means he's an insurance guy. It means he deals with commercial risk insurance. And Carlos is a great guy to know because he sees things by virtue of his specialization that you don't see. He sees lots of businesses that have issues come up that he knows how to protect them from. So one of the biggest challenges you have as a small business owner is you don't know what you don't know. And you need people that know things you don't know to be able to help make sure that you're not blindsided by something unexpected that can literally destroy your business and all the hard work that you've put into it. So I'm going to recommend you go to livestreamlee.com, click on the Carlos Cantu button, and get in touch with Carlos. He's a great guy. You're going to really like him. And he is incredibly helpful when it comes to figuring out what your risk profile looks like and what kind of risk you might have that you didn't think about. Carlos Cantu, great guy to know. go to livestreamlee.com to get in touch with Carlos. All right, now with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the Apricot Rocket development process, the software development process. And where we ended up on Friday is I actually had gotten a little confused about how to make something happen. What I had gotten a little confused on was when you create a product, how do you tag it to a particular vendor? And so what I want to do is I want to show you something that's kind of important for you to understand. Product. Let's see here. I'm on the set of screens, and by the way, I'm just going to show you that. This is where you sign in. This is the home screen. These are your profile pages. This row is related to setting up and managing vendor profiles or vendor accounts. This row is set up for adding products, and then this row is set up for orders that customers purchase, products customers purchase. And where we had gotten into difficulty was related to adding a product. And so if I zoom in here on the Add Product page, there is basically it's an input form. And if I click in this input form, you'll see that the input form is for products. And it says create new products. So obviously when we're adding a product, we're creating a new product. And if I come down to fields and I look at the fields list, you're going to see that there are visible fields and non-visible or invisible fields. And one of the invisible fields is the current vendor field, the product vendor field. And what this does, if I click on this, this is a data field that needs to be filled in. And so when you create a product, if you don't assign it to the current vendor, then you're going to have problems being able to find and edit the products. They're just simply not going to show up on the page for the vendor. And so the same thing is true with all data fields. And so what you need to understand is you have to think about the data that you're collecting and how you're passing it. Data gets passed from one screen to the next as packages or packets that are associated with each screen and each transfer, each screen change. And you can see what data is available to a screen by looking at the screen data fields. And so if I click on Add Product, that's the name of this screen. I come down and look at available data. We're going to see that it has the current vendor available. Why does it have the current vendor? Well, because we came into that from a vendor detail screen. So if I click on the vendor detail screen and I look at the available data, we have the current vendor on the vendor detail screen. Well, how do we know what the current vendor is that we're looking? Well, we have to track that back to where did we enter the current vendor screen. So we entered the current vendor screen from the vendor list. So let's look at the vendor list. So here we have a list box that is a list of vendors. And the action when you click on one is to take you to the vendor details. So if I open what happens, we send the current vendor to the vendor details screen. So all of the data on the vendor details screen, which I've now highlighted, is all of the data fields that we're going to show. All of the links are going to carry the current vendor with them to wherever the destination is. So when we add a product and we click on the Add Product, which takes us down to this Add Product page, it's going to carry the current vendor with us. Well, you've got to remember when you create data, what data when you create things, you've got to look at your visible and invisible fields and think about what information you want to pass along. This impacts significantly your ability to make things logic happen within the sort of the logic elements of the screen. So let's now just go ahead and click on Preview. And we're logged in as, well, I don't remember who we're logged in as. So if we click profile, we're logged in as Pie Guy. So we're on the Pie Guy profile page. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go backwards. As the Pie Guy, we're going to look at products. So the Pie Guy is looking at products, and Pie Guy sells pies. So Pie Guy isn't going to want to buy their own product. Pie Guy is probably going to want to buy something like maybe a Toyota Land Cruiser. So we're going to click here and we're going to add that to the cart. So now we've added some stuff. Well, we were playing around with the pie, so we're going to delete the pie. And so now we have the Toyota Land Cruiser added to the product. Well, we don't see a subtotal here. So if I add an increase and then I decrease, now the subtotal shows up. We've calculated sales tax and we've calculated a subtotal with sales tax. All of that math looks correct. Now let's get a shipping option for this Toyota Land Cruiser. So we're going to go to the shipping options and we're going to choose local delivery. So I choose local delivery and we click, and now local delivery is $5. So we have total of $1.81 plus $5 amount to pay $6.81. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and add this, or let's go ahead and purchase this. Now, I put a bypass in, a pay now button, instead of going through the shopping cart process, because I just want to be able to check all the processes and not have to pull out credit cards and deal with all that stuff initially. So I'm going to click Pay Now. And what that does is that takes us back to the Pie Guy profile, and it shows us a list of all of the orders that the Pie Guy has made. Well, in this case, the order is just one thing. Now, looky here. It says Pie Guy a few seconds ago, $1.7. Well, this is the name of the order. So I put in the Pie Guy's name, the time, and I put in the price. So that's the name of the order. And so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and show that as a dollar amount, not a decimal or 1.7. And when I click on the order, I want to be able to see the details of the order. So I see a little bit of details, the Toyota Land Cruiser and the price, but I don't see sales taxes. I don't see, there's quite a few things I don't see that I'd like to be able to see related to the order. So what I want to do is I want to change up the order, and I want to edit the order list screen. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to now scroll up. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to go into the profile. And so I'm going to come over a little bit. And so I'm going to click on the order name. And I've got the order name field. Okay, so order name, current order, order name. So I can't edit the pricing here. So I'm going to have to go find where I created the order name. But if I click down here, you'll see that it takes me to the link for orders. Okay, so if I want to go to the orders page, here's a neat little trick that you might want to know, because quite honestly, if you have 50 or 100 screens, it gets kind of challenging to find things. So if I click on my list of screens, and I'm going to zoom out, so I'm going to click on my list of screens, I'm going to click on orders. Look at here, I've highlighted orders, and the orders over here, it highlights. So if I click on orders, orders stays highlighted. Okay, now if I highlight vendors, add vendor, create, so whatever I hover over, it highlights it so I can find it real quickly. So if I go ahead and just click on orders, now I can zoom into my orders screen, and that makes it real quick and easy to navigate around. Okay, now here's a little trick with the list. So this is a custom list. So when I've clicked on it, you'll see it shows 3 list rows. But looky here, this bottom list row kind of extends beyond the yellow border. So if I grab that yellow, if I click in here again and I grab this yellow border and I scroll it up to where it's right there, I can shorten it so it only shows 2 items. Now, if there's only 1 item in the list, like in other words, if the order that we have only has 1 item in the order, then it's only going to show 1 item. So I could just show one item and it would automatically extend down, but in this case, I'm just going to show two items even though I only have one. So I want to add some additional information. So I have order item name, and order item name is is something that we need to look at because I don't know what's in order item name. If I click here, I've got current order item name. So if I click here, I've got current order item name. But if I want the order name, not the order item name, if I click here and then I go ahead and just delete this, and now I want to put the order name in. So I come up here to current order and I put order name. So now this will be the name of the order. Now, if I also want to have some additional information, I might put that additional information below or above. Well, I've got price of the order item and quantity of the order item, but what about things like sales tax and all that other stuff? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a shortcut for putting all that information in. I'm going to zoom out just a little, and I'm going to look for the order. So I'm going to come in here to the order, and we're going to just click over a little bit. So here's all my subtotal stuff. So I'm going to hold the shift key down, and I'm going to click, 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 click. Okay, so I've copied all of those items, and now I'm going to hit Control C for copy. And now I'm going to scoot over here to the page where I want to put that. And I'm going to grab this. I'm going to scooch it up to just be 1. Now I'm going to highlight the page, and I'm going to do Control V for print. And look at there, it puts everything right nice and neat down underneath that. And let's see what we have in the way of information. If I look at subtotal, it says the word subtotal. I click on sum, it's the sum of the order item total price. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and look and see if this carries all of the data over the way that we want it to. So we're going to go ahead and click preview. Now we're going to come back in, and now we're going to go look at our profile because we've purchased something, and here's our purchase. So if I click on our list of orders, it takes us over here to the order, and looky there, I've got the name of the order, Pie Guy a few seconds ago, 1.07, and then I've got the Toyota Land Cruiser, price $1.67, and I have all of the data related to the order. So now I've got a history of orders, and the only thing I really need to clean up is I need to clean up this order name a little bit. Now I can't go back and change what historically has already been captured, but I can change it new going in. So what we're going to do is we're going to X out of here, and so if I go to order name and I click on order name, it's just going to show me the order name. Okay, so if I want to be able to change this so that the data shows, what I need to do is I need to go down to my order items page where we create the order. Okay, and so on the Pay Now button, this is where I create the order. So if I go into the create order, you'll see I've got user, full name, current time, order item total. So if I click on the order item total and I change this to be currency, it'll actually show the currency as opposed to the, in other words, the full decimal, as opposed to just an integer. Now if I, or a decimal number. So if I go to the current time, it's relative. Well, I don't know that I want relative. I think what I want is date and time. And so we're going to change this to be date and time. Now, I don't know if for sure if that's going to show up in our current order, but let's go look and see if it changes existing information. We're going to click preview. And now we're going to come back in and we're going to go to our profile. And we're going to click, nope, it didn't change in the past, but it'll change in the future. So what I want to do now is while we're logged in as Pie Guy, we're going to view products, and now we're going to purchase something else. We're going to buy two things. We're going to buy a Porsche 911. Oh, looky here, we still have the Toyota Land Cruiser in. So I'm going to remove the Toyota Land Cruiser, and I don't have a continue shopping button. Okay, so I'm going to need a continue shopping button, because here's a problem that we need to think about. Okay, I can only purchase from one vendor. Okay, so let's think about this. I'm going to go back upstream, and I'm going to go to the vendors, and I'm going to look and see what the vendors are selling. Well, Pie Guy is selling pies. Well, I don't need to buy my own pies. XYZ Drilling is selling Land Cruisers and BMW X50s. Okay, and so what is, I bought from ABC Drilling. ABC Drilling is selling Land Rovers and Porsches. Well, I bought a Porsche a moment ago. Okay, so I really should only be able to purchase another product from this same vendor, because when I check out, I'm only going to pay one vendor. I can't have one checkout and have my money go to two different vendors. That just doesn't work. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to figure out how to limit what we can purchase in the way of continue shopping. Okay, so I bought a Porsche. I need to come back and buy a Land Rover if I want to buy a second thing. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go to my profile page. Now, I don't have a view cart. Actually, now I'm in the edit profile page. So I don't want to be in the edit profile page. So I actually have to go back up to the home to view my profile. So I don't have a cart. And now my existing order has disappeared. So I'm going to need to figure out what happened there. So let's go ahead and go back. Let's go to view products. And I bought a Porsche. Let's say I want to buy the Land Rover. So I'll go ahead and add the Land Rover to the cart. And so now I have a Land Rover and a Porsche. And if I do +1, now I've got a little bug in here. It should automatically calculate the price. So I had to add 1 and subtract 1 to get the price to come up the way I wanted to. Now let's select a shipping option. Let's go ahead and select local delivery. And our shipping option now comes back, and all this math works the way that we want to. So let's now go ahead and purchase the item. So I click Pay Now, and looky here, I come over to my Pie Guy, and I don't have a new order here. So we've got several little bugs in this thing that we need to debug. So let's go dig in and see what we can figure out in this this amount of time that we have left. Okay, so why do we not have a list of Pie Guy orders? Okay, so we've got all of the changes that we wanted right here, but we don't have the previous order. We actually should have a list of the orders. So let's go into our profile, and let's look at our profile page. Let's scooch over a little bit and figure out. So we've got a list of orders. Logged in order items, order item orders. Okay, so we have a list of item orders. Now let's go look and see what we've got in the way of information in our orders database. So let's click on orders, and let's come down here, and we've got our orders database. So we're opening our orders database, and we're going to look at our orders. Okay, so we've got order name Pie Guy. This is the most recent one. And then we have the one that we did a little bit a while ago. Order item, Porsche 911. I don't have an order item in this one. Order item total paid, created 13 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and look over. So we have orders, and we have order items, but we don't have an order item for the other order that we created. Now, I'm wondering what happened here. So if I click on the pie guy, I've got an order item untotaled. So I don't see order item untitled, order item. Okay, we're going to cancel. We're going to get out of this. Okay, so let's go in and let's create another order right now. We're going to click on View Products. We're going to buy the Toyota Land Cruiser. And so it doesn't clear out our existing orders. We need to clear out our existing orders. So we're going to do the Toyota Land Cruiser. Let's just got to do a plus and minus to get everything to show up. We're going to choose our shipping options. Shipping options, UPS next day. Go ahead and save it. And so now everything's correct. We're going to click Pay Now. That takes us to Pie Guy, and see it only shows us the most recent order item. So there's obviously something wrong with how we're collecting our orders and our order items. So we're going to have to debug this. Okay, so let's go in and look and see a couple of things. If I go to our orders, we should have one more order. We do, Toyota Land Cruiser, order item total paid. Well, the only thing getting added to the total paid is the shipping cost. Okay, so we're going to need to go in and look at that. Let's just do one thing at a time. Okay, so now let's come down to our orders and let's click on the Pay Now and see what we're doing when we click on orders. So the order name is working correct. Order item total paid. Okay, so we have some of the order item total price. We have times the tax rate. So we calculate, okay, so let's go look in here and see, we've got some order item total price times the tax rate times the sum order item total price plus the shipping option ship off rate. Okay, so let's look at what we have on our sum here. Sum order item total price, that's all order items, order item total price sum. Okay, so let's go to the Pay Now and let's look at what we have here. We have a different thing. We don't have all order, we have current order items, orders, order items, order item total price sum. Okay, so we have different values, which is one reason why we're not getting the same information collected there. Okay, we also have an issue with the with how things are showing up when we pass an order item into the cart. So when we pass an order item into the cart, we bring that in from the product list. So let's look and see what we do when we pass an order item into the cart. So we say create order item. So let's see what we do. We put the product name in the order item. It's the current product. So we get the product name from the current product, the logged in user, the order item price. We set the quantity to 1, and we don't calculate a total price. Okay, so we don't have a total price, and we don't have anything in the order items or the shipping. Okay, so then we link to the order items. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another action where I'm going to update the new order item. Okay, so we're going to update the new order item. So when we create the order item, with the current price and the order item quantity, but we don't have the total price. So when we update the current order item, the new order item, what we're going to do in the price field is we're going to calculate the current product price times, whoops, that's order item price. Sorry, that's the total price. We're going to calculate, here we go. We're going to calculate the current product price times current new order item. Actually, we need to do something slightly different. Okay, so we're going to go backwards. We're going to do the new order item price times, I'm going to put an X there. Okay, so there we go. There's the X. times the new order item quantity. So that's going to be the total price. Okay, so now that should fix the first issue. So if I click preview and I now go to view products, and I'm going to go ahead and add the Land Rover. And now I've got the Land Rover showing the total price automatically. I don't have to go up or go down. And I'm going to get rid of this. Actually, I'm going to get rid of everything. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go ahead and add the Land. Whoops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go ahead and add the Land Cruiser. And so now, bada bing, bada boom, we got the price in, everything pre-populates correctly. So we fixed that little issue. Okay, so now we need to figure out, and let's just go ahead and do a select shipping, and we should be able to get a shipping option. And now we'll put the shipping option in. So we've got the shipping option. And if we pay now, we then have what we just purchased. Everything's showing up. If I click on this, now it's going to come on through, show the Toyota Land Cruiser. Okay, so everything is working all the way through like it should, but we're not tracking multiple orders. So we need to go debug that. But we're out of time for today, so we have to do that tomorrow. So come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and we will debug the process of calculating the correct number of order items and figure out why we're not tracking our order items correctly. We're obviously not passing some variable the way we need to, so we need to figure that out. Okay. I'm going to come back to StreamYard, and I'm going to just close out by saying, this has taken so far 21 episodes, 30 minutes per episode. So we obviously have about 10 hours into the development process. Honestly, if you were doing this at one fell swoop sitting down, it would probably only take about 8 hours, because every time you restart, you have to get your head back into where you were at. And that just takes a lot of time. But this is, I'm going to estimate that we're about halfway through. So we probably have about another month of development time. I may very well speed things up by doing a little bit of pre-development and then showing you what I did, because this is, it's just taking a lot of time. So anyway, come back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And we'll debug this issue, and we'll just keep pushing forward so that you can see how you do this with a no-code development tool. I want to send you away thinking about history. Dan Nelson is a genealogist. He's also I'll call him a historian. He looks into people's family histories and pulls out the interesting facts, tells the great stories that exist in almost everybody's family tree. He sends out a newsletter every couple of weeks where he shares interesting tidbits, historical stuff that he came across in the process of doing research. He doesn't share information about the families that he's researching as much as he does just other interesting stuff. So if you're a historian, or if you're a history buff like me, you like reading about that kind of stuff, go to livestreamly.com and click on the Dan Nelson link and sign up for Dan's newsletter. It's a great read, comes out every 2 weeks. And if you ever decide you're not interested anymore, just unsubscribe. Dan's a great guy, tells some great stories, and I think you'll find it very interesting. Thanks for watching Live Stream Lee, and I will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Cheers.